happy Wednesday. We're on a little bit earlier today because we have a very special guest, and this is how the schedules had coordinated. But welcome to Unzipped with Sherry, with yours truly, Sherry. We have a really exciting show for you today. We have Chris, who some of you might know from TikTok at Chris RNY. His videos are absolutely amazing. His transformation story is just incredible, and I can't wait for you guys to talk to him. So I think without further ado, Chris, I hope that you're ready because we're about to get unzipped. We all have a story on how we got here, right? So for me, I used to be over 350 pounds until one day I made the single decision that I wanted change. Weight loss surgery has saved my life, and now I am here for you. I want to hear your story. You know, the one that happened during that before and after picture. It's time to unzip. What's your story?
Morning.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing this. First and foremost, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited because Chris and I were scheduled to do this episode next week. And just like, you know, how my life goes all the time, shit just happens and the rug gets pulled underneath you. And my guest for today was unable to make it. So I messaged Chris and I'm like, hey, you want to have less than 12 hours notice and come do a show with me? And you were so gracious and you're here. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So for people who are not on TikTok or don't have social media, why don't you give us a little backstory, basically to your origin story? Like, what was Chris like before you had the surgery?
Chris was just me, but 139 more pounds. Of course, before surgery, I weighed a lot more. Who suffered severely with binge eating. I didn't really realize how bad it was for my surgery, but you know, I've been a binge eater since 1999 when I got my first. Finally, I moved out on my own, away from my mom. Mom's cooking and everything, and was able to Pizza Hut and Chinese food every single night, and developed and dealt with that for 22 years. And you know, I was always the big fun guy, you know, just trying to make the best of life, but you know, just absolutely suffering, absolutely hated my life, and you know who I'd become, and I knew. So yeah, along came the surgery, and just kind of like, to me, I always called it like winning the lottery, because I thought that this surgery was for other people. Even up until the day of my surgery, I had it in my head that something was going to happen, something was going to go wrong, that this surgery, just like winning the lottery, is meant for other people. It's not meant for me. That's how I wanted this surgery. That's how high of a level I put it on in my life, that for me. But now that I've had it, it's honestly, it feels like I've won the lottery for my health. Total whirlwind.
That's just absolutely amazing. There seems to be some audio issues on your end. I'm not sure what it is, but hopefully it's just going to rectify itself. But what was like, so you were gaining weight for years, you were doing the yo-yo, you probably tried all of the other fad things. What became kind of like the turning point for you where you're just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is going to be the way to go.
So my sister had the surgery. What year were we in? 2020. She had it in 2020. She got her insurance covered it. She went and had it, and I was like, let me see if I can. So I went to my HR representative at work, and I said, hey, does our insurance? He said, yeah, actually the girl up front had the surgery done. So I went up there and talked to her, and surgery done by the same guy who had done my sister. So my sister had it in July of 2020. My dad had it in October of 2020, and consultation there in September of 2020, and regular doctor visits and get all that other mumbo jumbo stuff taken out,
Yeah.
out of the way. So I never knew that my insurance covered it. If I had known, I would have done it a long time ago. The barrier between me and the surgery insurance. A lot of insurance wouldn't cover it. And finally found out that mine covered it. It was getting 6 months requirements for your insurance company to get this. And I told myself, I said, walk away and just say, the hell with it. I'm not waiting 6 months. I said, but in 6 months, I'm happy, so I might as well just start on something, because either or 6 months from now, I'm still going to be unhappy.
Yeah.
So I just went ahead and got the process started. So
good for you. And so what was going through your mind like the night before surgery? Now, have you ever had any surgeries prior before?
Oh yeah, I had my appendix taken out on my 12th birthday. I had knee surgery. I had staph infection. So yeah, I've had major surgery before. So
this was not like your first rodeo or anything like that.
It was never about the nerves of the surgery. It was the nerves that go wrong to where I can't have this. That I wasn't scared of the surgery. I was scared of it. I always thought, I kept on thinking something was going to go wrong. Even this is how crazy you got to take a nicotine test before you have the surgery, right? And I stopped cold turkey. Like 8 months, I did not smoke. Did not smoke at all. The morning of my surgery, my wife smokes. I was like down the road while she smoked, because I was so afraid that I would get sick to the hospital. He would give me another nicotine test, and then I would fail it, and I wouldn't have a surgery. That's about this surgery, about me not having it.
Because like the secondhand smoke is gonna somehow like alter the test, and you're like not having none of that.
That's how crazy it was, yeah.
So how long have you been married?
We on the 5th, which was Tuesday, we celebrated our 3 years together. 3 years married. We've been together 5 years. So this is both our second marriage between each other. So second.
Oh well, congrats.
Second and final marriage.
Second watching, good answer. So how did she feel about you having this surgery? Like, was she supportive? Was she nervous?
My wife has been the biggest supporter. She's very thorough with her research and stuff, and she knew that before this surgery about the divorce rate with people, which is very high. So she was very aware of what we were about to get ourselves. So she's always been my number one supporter. She's bought me all sorts of stuff. She bought me the creamy. She's bought me she's bought me so much stuff. Just my biggest cheerleader there on the and even though I have changed, as I am not the same surgery. I'm a completely different person, and she's been very supportive. And it's been, I'm not gonna lie, there have been times to where this surgery has split us apart, but we worked through it. So yeah, everything's good. I always try to tell people that when they have this surgery, that if you're in a relationship, whatever, just know that you do become a different person. There are going to be issues. I mean, you're married. We become completely after the surgery. Absolutely, completely different people.
And I mean, like, I didn't, when I had the surgery almost 8 years ago, I didn't know how high the rate was of breakups and divorce rates. And like in my head, like I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was like, just because somebody looks better, they just automatically go and find something better. But what I think it's turning out to be is I think that when you're not living your best life as your best self, I think oftentimes you settle in certain situations, whether you're settling in arguments or you don't think you have enough value or you're not going to be able to do any better. So you're such a people pleaser. And then I think something shifts when you start losing weight and gaining confidence where you realize, no, I have more value. I deserve better than this. And then I think people start kind of looking at their immediate surroundings going, I don't want to live like this. And it starts causing issues at home too.
You totally you're totally correct with that, because as we lose, your self-esteem becomes a lot greater. I settled for bad relationships, bad jobs. I settled I was good enough for a good relationship, a good job, things. But I noticed that after the surgery, especially with my job, whereas before I'm a lot of BS and stuff like that, after my surgery, when I started to lose this weight and felt better about to deal with this anymore, I'm not going to take this anymore.
Yeah.
And I started to stand up for myself. And relationships, a lot of us do settle. I settled because, like I said, I didn't think that I was good enough for things out there. When I met my wife, when I met Maddie, the first thing there's no way this is going to work out. This girl is way too cute for me. I mean, she's always got it in her head that I'm going to find somebody else. You were the best thing that ever came across me when I met you. I didn't think that I was good. I was expecting this to be a one and done. That's it. So, like she accepted me at my heaviest, and I tell her continuously she has nothing to worry about. She's always been like, I've always felt that she was out of my league. But she's an amazing person, and there's nobody else in my life. Yeah.
And for people who are nervous, like when you're in a relationship, what I tell people is there's something about trying to give your partner reassurance that, hey, you were here and you were willing to love me when I was at my absolute worst. So why the hell are you not going to be able to deserve me when I'm at my best? And that, that it just brings a lot more things to perspective. Because, yeah, and I'm sure, especially with you, because you're starting to grow on social media and people are starting to follow you. And I don't know if you have chicks slide into the DMs or not, but it's like there's this weird, it kind of messes with your self-esteem a little bit because you're like, I would have never gotten this attention before. So why am I getting it now?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, no, because you wouldn't have given it to me. That no, I got what I got going on, and like I'm good.
Yeah, you definitely garner more attention when you lose this. It's I make it very, very clear, very, very with my TikTok that I am married. I am happily married. Themselves in a situation where I have to make it uncomfortable for them, and say, hey, I'm married. I put it out there. I try to include my wife as much as. Tell you a funny story. The other night, I was getting in the shower and I said, some girl was talking about my glistening muscles today on TikTok. She said, just some random girl was talking about my muscles. I was kidding. The next morning, excuse my language,
You're said, fine.
I saw that bitch that commented on your page about that. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, I found her. I said, I didn't know that someone actually did. She had went through like someone who commented on like, my muscles or whatever, because I wear tank tops and all that. And I said, I didn't know that there was somebody out there, but she's like, I tell people all the time, do know that my wife will read it before I ever even see it. 6 cents when it comes to that stuff. So yeah, tracks before it even becomes an issue, so.
No, I love that. And I've seen a lot of your videos, and I love how you and sometimes you try to egg her on too. Sometimes you purposely try to get eyes out.
I am a hot mess. I am fully aware. I put my just like someone at work asked me the other day, the video that I did, the not being able to call my wife by her real name, I have to call her baby and stuff like that. Did she know that you were recording? I said, no. I said, I always have my phone propped up by the record. I watch TikToks, I read the news and stuff like that. So I always have my phone there. So no clue when I had called her by her real name. That was an actual reaction. A lot of that. And she goes, afterwards, she goes, were you recording that? And I'm like, yeah. So it's to become expected, and I always tell her all the time, you knew what you got yourself into when you married this, so it is what it is.
I know my husband he's not a fan of the limelight. He does not like attention drawn on him, and I love going out of my way to make him as uncomfortable as possible in public. I will dance in the parking lot and he's just like, nope, and he'll just turn around and walk away. You gotta have fun with it, and I think it adds an element of, I'm a total cheese ball. I've been told I'm very theatrical. I love to be awkward and silly, and I don't know, it just makes it fun in my opinion. But I have a question for you.
Yep.
And especially because I really love having guys on the show, because not as many guys are as vocal about this surgery, and I can't quite understand what it is. So I'm just curious to know, for you, why do you think guys are not as open about talking about this publicly? And two, what made you decide to want to document on such a big platform?
So there are not a lot of guys out here to begin with. Process of getting this surgery, I only saw two guys my entire months of going through all of this. I only saw two guys. Numerous women. I think the reason for that is that for men to be overweight in our society, where it is not for women. Women are held to a standard when it comes to weight. Mm-hmm. But to be a bigger guy, it's more socially. There's not a lot of us out there getting this weight loss surgery. As far with our journeys, that I don't know. I guess there's a lot of content creators out there, but I guess because our population is so small, community, so content creators is even smaller.
Yeah.
But I've always, I have a thing here in Memphis where I have some parody accounts that I do some stuff. I've always been big on social media, trying to make people. When I got on TikTok, it was back when there was just a bunch of dancing girls. But when I got on the app, I soon noticed that there were Karen videos. They were fun, and I kind of got into it. And when I started posting videos, I had 32 followers. And I didn't post a bariatric video until months after my surgery, and it was basically what small snacks I was doing, things like that. And the first video that I did that kind of just blew and got some McDonald's. I wanted to show what I ate as a binge eat. The day I went to go do my psychiatry appointment, I stopped at McDonald's and I had biscuits, 2 Egg McMuffins, 2 chicken biscuits, and 2 hash browns. So all that food I used to eat. But what I also did was I found a sound. There was a funny sound clip. It was like, yeah, not for me, something shit. I used that because I was like, I want to do something else. I found that sound clip and I did that video with that sound clip, 1,000 views, and it just from there it just blew up. It was lost. The more videos I did, it just became bigger and bigger and bigger. Trying to do different things, trying to be different. You know, your average social content creator. You know, videos on my page. Not everything is dedicated entirely to weight loss. I meet up all the time because, you know, I like to be funny. I like to make that's what this world is lacking right now is laughter. There's so much shit going on, things like that. So people come on here to try to escape and get away. So I try to find fun. That's not entirely related to weight loss. So I'm just having fun on here. And like I said, started out with 32 followers, and it's just it's grown into something I could imagine. And I tell myself all the time, like, there's so many people, like, it blows me away. I feel like at times I don't deserve what I have, and I don't understand what I have, but I just keep on doing it. Nothing's changed with me, just more people keep following me. And I thought by doing I never used to cuss on my videos. I said, well, maybe if I start cussing, because I curse in real life. I was like, maybe people stop following me and some people will unfollow me. I was actually trying to get people to stop following me and unfollow me first. Just more people started following me, and I'm just like,
stop following
it's
people.
Whatever. I just go with it now. So, you know, it is what it is.
And I love it. When you were younger, did you have as big of a personality, or were you more on the shy and reserved side?
I've always I grew up a Navy brat. We moved around a lot. I went to 14 total schools in my lifetime, 5 of those being high schools. I went to 5 different high schools. I used to move and being around new people, and I had learned early on in life that I had to adapt to the social situation that I was in. I had to become a people person, you know, in order to make friends. And so I've always been an outgoing, very sociable. You know, when we go to the store and things like that, I'll strike up a conversation. We'd be like, did you know her? I never met her in my life. You know, I just like to talk to people person. I've always been that way. So, and then that's just from to having to meet people and, you know, adapt really fast. I've always been out there.
Yeah, I was the total opposite. I was so secluded and sheltered and insecure, and I would sit in the back of the class, and I didn't want to talk to anybody. But and like finally in high school, when you kind of make a couple of friends, like in your immediate circle, I would be like the lighthearted one or like the jokester one. But it wasn't until after high school that I kind of adapted this mantra, because I knew people were making fun of me and people were judging me and making, you know, snickers and comments. So I was like, why don't I just start beating them to the punch? So then I would start making fun of myself, and then that would get like a huge, and like, you're like the life of the party now because, oh yeah, she's fat and she knows it, and like it's funny. And then after a while, and it sucks because even that sense of humor carries you through today, where for the most part, I feel amazing. Like, I feel like my transformation is fantastic, but you're almost awkward if somebody gives you a compliment because you're not used to it. You're so used to like an offhanded comment, like, or like something judgy. So when somebody says, you look really nice, you're looking good, and you're like, thanks, but my arms are really bad. Or you try to make a joke and like find something else wrong with you because it's almost like it's too much. You can't handle it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when you spent the majority of your adult life obese and big, used to compliments, you're not used to
Yeah.
um, people because like I always felt like the Chris Farley, where I I try to be, the jokester and things like that. Laugh inside kind of thing, Uh, and now it's like it's totally different, I'm laughing on the outside and I feel great on the inside, but sometimes it just seems surreal that you look at yourself and you're like, I remember like I'm sure you probably thought the same thing when you were bigger, that you could just wake up the next morning and be slim, that all your weight could be gone, wake up and you magically are skinny. And it's like myself in the mirror sometimes, I'm like, I can't believe this is me. I can't believe I'm here. Like, give myself a reality check a lot of times because it just doesn't seem real. And that I've been here this long because, this is the third time I've lost all this weight. Lost this much weight. This is the lowest I've ever been. But before, when I would lose the weight, and then automatically would start shoot. I'd be like, I got to the finish line, yes. And then it would just skyrocket from there. Whereas now I've been at my goal in December. So this is the longest I've been in a body like this. It just doesn't seem real at times.
It's great. And you really do have to pinch yourself. First and foremost, I love that you said that you're like a Farley because my whole life I was always Spade. I always had the dry, sarcastic sense of humor. I wasn't like the loud, obnoxious one. I was the one who made the subtle jokes or who made like
Right.
I like had the dry sense of humor. So like that just tickled me like right now. And I told you we're like kindred spirits anyway. And then secondly, the whole show is called Unzipped because I used to have the same thought as you. Is I wish that I could just literally unzip and just like burst out of this fat costume and be like
Yeah.
yourself. And I used to have that image so often that's why when I wrote the book, I was looking for a title. And so the term unzipped came to my head. And I loved it because it had like a double meaning. It had like the visual of physically unzipping and revealing like the skinnier version of yourself.
Right.
And then
Right.
two, I wanted to be as raw and honest as possible in the book and talk about the realities that no one was talking about. So I compared it to, when you're unzipping for any reason, whether you're in the restroom or in the bedroom or whatever, you're about to be extremely vulnerable in some form. And so that was the whole theme of the book is I wanted to be vulnerable and raw. And so it had like a double meaning. So I totally get what you're talking about. And I still don't, sometimes you still don't see it. You still see like those old pictures and then you do like a double take in the mirror and it's weird.
Yeah. I look at like my first couple, which is like months before my surgery. It's like, I mean, I look so huge. And how how did you let yourself get to that point? Realize how big you are when you're that size. I guess you lose all the weight that you look at your former self and you're like, how? I mean, even guys that work the job that I do because I paint. I paint in a paint booth, and it's a very physical job, and we talk about it a lot. It's like, I don't know how you did this job before, and I'm like, I don't know either because almost 240 more pounds doing what I do. I don't know that when I would get home at night, I would get out of my car and I would stand there for and I would hobble to the front door every night because I had hurt so bad from just working, doing all that work with all that weight on. So, you know, just looking at those old TikToks, and I ask my wife all the time, I'm like, how did you love someone like that? I'm so disgusted at my former self. I don't know, how I let myself be like that. I don't know how my and she's like, I just didn't see the guy on the outside. I saw you for who you are on the inside. And
Well, I have to ask, because you've been very vocal in your videos about how you were a binge eater and it was like a serious issue. So
yep.
how do you keep yourself in check now from not like falling backwards and going into old patterns?
So it's hard to do. All right. So I didn't realize how bad of a binge eater that I was, how addicted to food I had the surgery, because before, every night, the only thing that I would think about the entire night is what I was going to eat when I got home. To the taquitos, some double cheeseburgers, a whole big bag. I would think about food. That's what fueled me the entire night. My motivation to get through the night was after my surgery, when I could eat regular food. I'm coming home, Castle slider burgers, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, something look. The motivation wasn't there anymore. I got and I realized that I was so and relied on food for so much, and the stress, the anxiety, the depression. I mean, that would fuel my appetite, and so I eat just like huge portions.
Yeah.
You have the surgery, you can't you physically can't do that. Ask me, how did you stop? I said, the surgery. I mean, I've lost, but I never stopped binge eating. I would binge eat on healthy foods, but then the healthy foods would turn, weight would come back. With the surgery, I can't binge eat anything anymore. So that pretty much eliminated it. It's still in your head, the eat, but I have taken that extra bite or two before up in the bathroom, and so you get to a point to where you want to go through this all the time, where I want to eat more. And I do it sometimes with like the ice cream or like the pudding, because those foods are a lot softer. Where I go overboard just a tad bit, and I find myself being sick. So I know that I'm full and I have to stop, because I know the consequences that I'll get sick. The surgery knocked out the whole binge eating for me. I mean, it's totally, the mental aspect is still there. I had to go through therapy there for anyone that's going to have this surgery, just had this surgery, to look into some kind of therapy. Food is a drug. Food is an addiction. Our society doesn't treat it. It's the same thing as any drug. It's the same thing as alcohol. But society sees someone that's overweight, obese, and they just think that they're fat and lazy.
Yeah.
Not that. Food is, and I don't care what anybody says, food is an addiction. I see someone and I feel bad for them. A lot of people fat shame people. I don't fat shame anyone. I know what they're going through. I know what it's like to be that size and to have the hopeless feeling.
Yeah.
You can't lose the weight. Nothing works. It doesn't matter. I bad for people. And I wish everybody could know, because it does solve a lot of issues, especially it solved the biggest one. 22 years I dealt with that. 22 years. This is the only thing that could solve.
And it's so hard. And I think even you and I had discussed this when we chatted last time. I hate when people say that food's, I mean, obviously we know that food is an addiction, But if you're on heroin or cigarettes or crack or whatever your drug or alcohol of choice is, you can stop cold turkey. I mean, it might not be easy, but once you're done, you can go the rest of your life and never touch it again. I think the hardest addiction is a food addiction because you can't just stop eating for the rest of your life. You will physically die. So there's this weird balance that you have to find. Whereas you need this drug to survive, but this drug is also killing you at the same time. And it's learning to find balance as to making better choices and controlling the binging and the reasons why you want to go into excess.
Right. And for that, you comparing food to a drug and things like that is oftentimes those of us that have the surgery, people say to out, you should have just done diet and exercise, blah, blah, blah. Surgery to the same thing as rehab, as, an alcoholic or someone that's addicted. They have to go to rehab because they need help. They can't do it on their own. They go to rehab, they get help, they come out. We've tried, doesn't work. Surgery. And I tell people, when you say you took the easy way out, would you rehab? You took the easy way out. Why couldn't you just stop doing crack cocaine on you? Why can you,
Right.
Well, why do you need to go? Why do you need to take the easy way out and go to AA meetings? You just stop. People
Like
say,
I love now when people are telling me that I'm cheating, because I'm like, especially if somebody has like I was like, you're on medication, like you have diabetes and you're taking medication, you're cheating. Go outside and just naturally lower your blood sugar. I don't understand why you need a pill to make yourself better. Like, it just cracks me up that there's like this stigma specifically with weight loss. And that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that more and more people are being vocal about it, because there's so many of us that have done everything. We put the fork down, we went on those walks, we did plans, but there's an addiction, there's an issue. And unless you kind of go back, like the surgery, just like the rehab or the AA or the detox, it's just an immediate tool to jumpstart it. But after that, you kind of have to go through the motions to figure out what caused you to turn to drugs or food or sex or whatever your vice is. And you have to understand why those urges came, what emotional response is generating or triggering the need to fill your addiction with this vice. And unless you work through it, you're going to have history repeating itself, which is with all the people you talk to, how many people have you seen that have had regain after surgery? It's not a quick fix.
No, it's absolutely not. And that's I I stay on this app because, trust me, there's numerous different ways. But I'm trying to help these folks out, because a lot of people are like those people that say we took the easy way out. You lost all the weight because of surgery. A lot of people that have the surgery think the surgery and the weight's just going to fall off.
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely. You're going to lose some weight initially,
right?
But then you got to start tracking your food, start eating right. You have to start exercising, because you're going to find out that the scale isn't moving. Why isn't the scale moving? I go on lives. I get this question more than anything. It's about stalls. It's to the point where, but people are like, I'm stalling, blah, blah, blah. And my first two questions to anyone is, you want to track your food, and what are you doing for exercise? How much, how often? What about exercise? I maybe walk like 20 minutes. You just answered your question. You know exactly what's causing your stall. Get it out there to people that if you're going to have this surgery, do know you hated to do that led you to get this surgery. Not one exercise you're going to have to do. You're going to have to learn to do. You're either going to have to do it, or this surgery is going to those that puts on the weight and is out there saying the surgery doesn't work. I can't. You're gonna be one of those people that you hear about when you knew such and such that had a surgery and they gained all their weight back. I knew. Oh God, I was in my head, and I still hear that from people. People gain their weight back. I mean, that's a great thing about me is that I've been through weight regain. I've dropped over 170 pounds twice. I've gained back 100 twice. I know everything there is about the heartache when someone talks to me about regain, like I have no clue what it is. I find it comical. And why didn't you lose the weight on your own? Oh, I have lost the weight on my own. I couldn't keep the weight off eating disorder. I had an eating disorder. But the whole issue with regain in this community is it's high, just like the divorce rate and stuff like that in this community is high. People see this surgery as a quick solution to the problems, and it's not. It's a tool. You hear it over and over again. This tool that you can use to help live a better life. Some people use this as a miracle pill, and the detox diet, it's gone, whatever. No, sir.
It's kind of like if you buy a treadmill in your house. Just having the treadmill in the house is not going to get you anywhere. And going on your treadmill for 5 minutes a day, hey, it's not that bad. You're doing something at least, but it's not going to get you to the long. You have to get on it every day. You have to properly know the settings. You have to constantly change the intervals and change the levels when you're kind of getting stagnant and stuff. It's just, I feel like some people sadly they'll look at your before and after picture and they'll be like, oh my God, Chris looks amazing. I'm just going to go out and run out and do that right now. And I don't think that they fully, grasp everything that it entails. And that's what this whole show is about. We're talking about what happens in between the before and after picture, the ups and the downs. And you're not just transforming on the outside, but you're transforming on the inside as well. You're dealing with, overcoming binge eating and mental health and issues in your relationship. And there's other things that are always going to be coming your way. And like we learned with the pandemic, like anything can happen tomorrow and cause triggers and stress, but it's retraining your entire brain on how to deal with that stress to not pick up a Snickers bar or not just go and binge on whatever's in the fridge, but to have to find ways to navigate and work through it so that you're not falling into old patterns. It's hard, obviously.
Yeah. So, the whole mental aspect of this surgery, and tell people that, you think the whole physical having to diet and exercise and all that. Part for me during this whole journey has been the mental challenges that I faced, because like I said, because a lot of us are addicted to food. Some of us have eating disorders like me. Hard because, like I said, I've done it before. It's not, I can lose weight fast. I can get, it's two things that have always been easy for me. But the mental challenge has been an absolute nightmare. And I tell people that all the time. That's why I always recommend people looking to have this surgery, because it's hard to find a substitute for food. We hear about transfer. Drug and alcohol use in this community is high because we go from addicted to food, alcohol, to addicted to drugs. My transfer addiction. clothes shopping. Absolutely
Really?
ridiculous. Like when I used to wear a 6XL, 5XL t-shirt. You can't find those sizes in the stores at all. So, I started coming down in size. When I had gotten to a 2XL in stores, I can go to Kohl's and find that's the biggest size to go up. And I kind of went crazy. I got on Fanatics. I got on Lids. I started ordering shirts. I had like 50 shirts. I went to XL to large really fast. I went from XL to large really fast. I realized that was giving me my final size. I can get into a medium, but I like a large because, I don't like it skin tight. Large gives me a little bit of loose feel. When I got to I right now I probably got like well over 100 shirts because I felt good about myself. I wanted to show myself off. So addicted to food to addicted to shopping, where it was nice. These Funko Pops have been the same Funko Pops. I kind of slowed down on the clothes shopping. Funko Pop buying the VHS buying. Yeah, my wife came up here the other day. She looked around and she said, "You have a lot more fun." I was in here last, and I said, "Yeah, I because our front door is by the stairs. So if I get a package in, I'll bring it in, or if I come in from Walmart or whatever, I'll come in the front door and I'll set it on." So I've been adding. She comes up here and she's like, "Wow, you spend a lot more money than I do." I know.
It's so bad. I'm telling you, and like you and I bonded over that too. Like I really got into the Funko Pops. They were just so cute. And then like all these characters that you love. And then I used to go to a lot of the local Comic Cons, and then everything just catches you. And I just keep all these impulse buyings. I was like, oh my God, there's Maleficent or Dopey or like some really cute character. And I just have this shelf of Funko Pop that are just sitting there, just collecting dust. And I'm like,
I've got last night I was at work and I saw a Macho Man Funko Pop from Entertainment Earth, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I had my credit card out, and I was like, "Stop! You gotta stop! You gotta stop!" I didn't buy it.
You didn't buy it. Good.
I just bought some. I just through eBay, so I gotta stop. So, I justified just tapes as I was like, "It's my birthday this week, so it's a birthday gift to myself." So yeah. But
it's your birthday this week?
46 on Friday. 46.
Happy birthday, early birthday.
So yeah, but the money that we used to spend on food, because with me being a binge eater, I was also addicted not to eat every single weekend and things like that. Comparing that to things that there's no comparison. I mean, because easily Friday night, picking up a meal on Saturday, picking a meal up on Sunday. I mean, you're talking, for me and my wife, and the majority of that was my food, $50 minimum on the weekend of just eating out, not including during the week, having you 2 burgers, a couple of chicken biscuits, some ice cream sandwiches. The amount of groceries that you spend, to supplement your eating. When I compare what I used to spend before to what I spend now, there's no comparison at all. I mean, just my food. I think about it because we had a whole routine. One day we'd go pick up our groceries at Walmart, and while we were picking up our groceries, I got Pizza Hut. So by the time we got our groceries and went over to Pizza Hut, our order would be ready. Routine, you know. Friday we go get Chinese or Mexican, or Taco Bell, and else to go eat. And Sunday was always Pizza Hut day. Like now, it's not even a thought. It's not even a thought. We eat. What are we gonna eat? What are we gonna eat? It's like now I'll ask my wife, "Do you want me to pick you something?" I get something at the house, or she's like, "Yeah, I'll get some Sonic." She's like, "You gonna get anything?" I was like, "I got stuff at the house. I don't eat out. I rarely eat out anymore, you know, because I have food at the house that I enjoy eating." To me, it's just become frustrating. You know, I know this is off topic. This I was addicted to food. Grown ass man, 45 years, freaking fit in the Olive Garden parking lot because we had went there to, and I'm looking at the menu going, I can't eat any of this. Why am I ordering anything when I'm not going to be able to eat? I was like, you know, if I get this, I was so upset and so pissed that I couldn't order anything. I was like, all I want to do is order something and be able to finish it. And I can't do that. And shrimp scampi had 3 pieces of shrimp and threw the rest away. You know, so that frustration, that me being upset of going out, to kind of turn into now, I don't even bother. You know, I pick up stuff from my and me, I tell people I fell in love with food at home. There's things I enjoy fixing that I'll just make at home. I'll go, you know, I'll stop by the Mexican place and get her some food, and she's like, "You don't want to?" "Oh, I just got a bag of pretzel crisps today at Walmart. I'm good." Fucking pretzel crisps. I'm overeating Mexican food. It just blows me away. But you know, I snack some foods like that. So yeah, total transformation.
And especially, I mean, like when you get as far out as me, and like people are even way more farther out than me, like obviously you can get to the point where you can tolerate anything. Like I can eat fried food, I can eat pizza, you can eat all these things. And I remember, and then you get accustomed to it. Like I never went into excess. I mean, I maintained for a long time, but I noticed my body feels depleted. Your body's inflamed. Like you get like these side effects. And then I know you can relate because you did the 75 hard too. And when you do the 75 hard, like they tell you to follow a diet. So I cut everything out entirely, and I would not cheat. I would not stray. And then I kept like every day I was like, oh, I'm going to have Starbucks. On day 76, I'm having Starbucks. I'm having sushi. And that was my motivation. But then something happens when you finally go and have that meal and you're like, I deserve this. I've earned it. But then the next day, your body just feels so gross and depleted and low energy. And you're just like, it wasn't even worth it. It's like you learn to adapt and you learn to enjoy. There's really good healthy food out there. It doesn't have to be like greasy burgers and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, people I get a lot of shit for the stuff that I create, but I wanted to you know, when on the whole TikTok thing is because I've created fun and exciting healthy because I try to tell people, just because you had the surgery doesn't mean you have to eat both. You know, you can have fun and exciting things that are good. You know, it's like when I protein ice cream. You know, people that are outside this community would see. I would get comments like, "You can't eat ice cream and lose weight. You can't eat that ice cream." I'm like, "Yeah, you can. You actually can," because we kind of relate ice cream to eating unhealthy, you know. Relate pizza to eating unhealthy, whereas you can make 2 bad foods, make them healthy, and to where you can have, and you know, that's what I try to do on here is I just think like, what do I like having? How can I make it low calorie? How can I make it as few, because I get sugar dumping. So anything that I make, I try to make, as low as sugar as possible. I make this fun and exciting and healthy to eat at the same time. And I eat a lot of myself at the house. And then when I got turned on to baking powder, and I found out that I could bake with it. I was like, oh shit, that's a game changer. It's like this morning before I was running around because I made a batter covered birthday cake creme brulee. I made that before I came on here.
Wait,
huh?
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's I saw, they posted recipes all the time, and I saw that angel food cake that they made, and I was like, I'm gonna go to Kroger, and I saw an angel food cake, and it was 1,040 calories for that angel food cake. One that I made this morning was like 570 calories for the entire thing. Batter on top. If you took the brownie batter off, you're talking like 350 higher angel food cake. And I added the brownie to be extra. It adds calories, but you can break that up a whole angel food cake. You could break, but yeah. So once I found this protein powder that I could bake with, I was make even more fun and exciting stuff. The grilled cheese sandwiches, the pizza bowl, just so much more stuff. So yeah, just because you have this surgery does the same boring stuff that we have been accustomed to with diet and exercise.
Right.
A lot of fun and exciting, healthy options for you out there. Somebody gave me shit, talking about, why don't you post watermelon, like a piece of this? So what do? I turn watermelon into sorbet and show you how you can have, watermelon, not just your plain basic piece of watermelon. Make it fun and exciting. It doesn't have to be. I'm boring with what I eat because I eat a lot of the same stuff every single day, but I try to make it exciting. So
yeah.
I'm having fun.
And you know what? The more popular you get, the more that people follow you, the more haters you're going to get, the more there's always, like, we are not immune to negative people or negative energy. But at the end of the day, I tell people, like, I'm small potatoes. I just finally got to 1,000 followers, which is like, I did like a happy dance. And like, that was huge for me because I'm not used to having that kind of attention. But I can only imagine if you're getting to like 60, 40,000 people, not every single person's going to like us. Like, there's going to be people judging and making comments. And at the end of the day, you're not doing this for them. I feel like you're doing it for you. And if somebody else enjoys it, then hey, even better. If it makes somebody smile, or if it gives somebody advice or a tip to try, or you do a lot of food product reviews, like of different protein bars and different items.
Yeah.
If somebody takes that and goes out and gets it and they love it, awesome. But you're not doing it to make sure 100% of the time people are happy with you. Who gives a flying shit? You just do what makes you happy.
Yeah. So yeah. I got called out because of and a bigger following that I have, and that I should be a better role model. And this is embarrassing because I do the hot chip challenge. I eat 11 chips like that, and I'm like, I'm not a role model. I didn't sign up. I didn't sign up. I didn't come to this community to be a role model. I came to this community to, for one, be myself, to make fun, to have fun. It kind of turned into this product review, making fun and exciting foods and things like that. I try to show people how to eat right and how to do fun and exciting things. I often tell people, don't do this at home. This is me. But yeah, I get a lot of negative comments. But at the same time, Sherry, the reason why I do this there are lots of days that I just want to walk away. I get tired of activity. But with that, I also get a lot of people that inbox me that how inspiring that I've been to them, how I've helped them out with these, the protein pudding, the protein ice cream, and how much I've helped them. And that's what pushes me to keep doing.
Yeah.
Even though I don't feel like I deserve the following that I have and what I've become, I know that there are people out there that enjoy this and look forward to it. So that's why I keep doing it for them.
Yeah, and
for them, some fun, and if
yeah, and I know like even when I post a lot on my TikTok, I do like a lot of dancing videos just because I just love dancing and I'm a big dork, and so it took a long time for me to even be comfortable in posting something because like you're opening yourselves up to be like, oh God, like you're terrible or look at those rolls on you or what. But now I'm like, I'm trying not to just care. I'm doing it for me. If somebody enjoys it, cool. But when I was posting like show clips, I'm like, I don't know if people are really going to watch this, but I was like, it's just kind of like little teasers. And you kind of start questioning the amount of hours it takes to put together a video or to do editing and to do all these. Is it worth it? Are you doing the right thing? And then somebody makes a comment or writes to you and goes, that is exactly what I needed to get through the day today. Or that was the best advice. I've never heard that. And when you hear something like that, it makes it all worth it. And you're like, it's worth everything that you're doing. Because if you can even help one person,
yeah,
that's huge.
That's how I feel about like my product reviews, because I spend a lot of money on shit, some of the stuff I can't get individually. I have to buy a full box of. When you buy a full box of something and it sucks, I mean, I've had it happen lots of. This is a waste of $20-$30.
Yeah.
But I buy these things because I have such a large following. If I could save wasting $20,
Yeah.
That's the thing about that's the thing about this community, about what we're doing. These companies will push shit out there with a fancy looking delivering donut on a box, and then you get it going, oh my God, look, it tastes like a donut. Then you eat it and you're like, this tastes like dog shit. Mm-hmm. You're often going, who in the hell is tasting this stuff at this trash?
Yeah.
They take advantage of us trying to eat healthy, trying to eat this stuff it's false advertising. So I try to let people know, hey, this is either good or hey, this is bad.
Yeah.
Taste buds or some things that I tried that I like that people go, I didn't like that. That was absolute garbage. Different, or I'll completely dog on something and someone would be like, I really like that. And I'm like, but or I get the people that's like, wow, why are you doing these candy bar reviews instead of doing an apple or whatever? I'm like, apples are fucking. But we all know we all know what an apple tastes like. We all don't know what a protein bar that's got a picture of it tastes like. So.
That's what I'm saying. But you know what? I love how sometimes you call them out on it. I love how sometimes you just don't give a flying smurf and you're like, I'm just going to be me. If you don't like it, you can keep scrolling. I didn't ask for people to follow me. You chose to follow me. If you don't like what I have, you can follow. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I have to tread lightly on that now because I get reports and bullying with my responses. So I try to be because people will just talk to me like my response. I get flagged for it, and
Yeah.
so it's like someone like the Baja Blast Freezy that I posted, the video, the Diet Mountain Dew. Some more the fact that that diet has got like cancer causing blah blah, and I was like, that's it. You know, somebody's always got to have something to say.
Yeah.
The bigger the video goes view wise, the more in, especially when you throw in an FYP hashtag, it's bringing more people.
Yeah.
Things like that, and a lot I choose to ignore and move on from. And okay, I'm gonna reply to this, but I'm gonna try to be as good as I can when I reply. So, but you're gonna get a reply to this. And what I do a lot of times is pin somebody's shit comment to the top of a video, because wonderful at taking care of somebody without me ever having to say anything that will completely trash somebody. Once they catch a whiff, they'll say what I want to say that I can't say. They'll say it themselves. Sometimes.
Oh my God. I freaking love it. I can't even believe that we're basically out of time already. We actually went over. But before we end the show today, Chris, somebody who's watching this right now, who's thinking about having the surgery and might be on the fence, what would be the biggest piece of advice that you would give them?
This surgery can bless you with the greatest you'll ever receive in living a better, healthier life. I've been blessed. I consider myself blessed. I tell people this surgery, it's like I won the lottery. If you have the surgery, I suggest that you do it. But no, like I said before, if you're going to get the surgery, you're going to have to learn to eat right, and you're going to have to learn to exercise. You're going to have to do. This surgery only helps losing the weight. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the effort. Nothing is given. You know, people are going to tell you took the easy way out, but there's nothing easy. I've lost this weight twice before. Losing this weight this time, but once you lose the weight, it's just as hard to keep it off. You know, maintain this journey for me. Not losing the weight, maintaining the weight, because then you got to figure out a balance, diet and exercise, and not losing too much and not gaining too much. But if you have the ability to get the surgery, do your research. Which one's the full gastric bypass, switch, whatever. Do the research. Don't let anyone do the research, and do it, and good luck with it. We have a wonderful community here on TikTok of great people that will help. Facebook, those Facebook bariatric groups are trash.
Most 99% of them 100% are. I think I might ask you this already, but I'm thinking of putting together a special episode of a boys club where we can, because I know that guys have different experiences than women. Like, you don't have to deal with the hormones that we did, but I'm sure that there's a bunch of stuff that separates your journey from women's journey. So I'm hoping you'll be interested in coming back again in the future.
Definitely.
Okay, perfect. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for being here today. It really was a pleasure. I'm extremely blessed that you took the time to come and talk, with my little show today. And to those of you at home, Chris, why don't you give them your TikTok handle, even though they're probably already following you, but just in case they're not, where could you find your videos? I am
RNY Chris. The same thing for Instagram, RNY Chris. Of course, I don't post pictures on Instagram. I just post my video on Instagram. So RNY Chris. That's who I am. So
make sure you go to TikTok at RNY Chris. And we will see you guys next week. Hope you guys have an amazing day today.